Well, let's dive into it, guys. Let's talk about woke. Let's talk about the woke monster, a word that is used so often, and I don't think anyone, including myself, really knows what the heck it means. And we're not going to get any clarification on that today. What we are going to do is walk through the most recent example of Fox News fear-mongering about the woke monster. And this is just a second remaking of the political correctness stuff. And we've heard this exact rhetorical game played. And it's just a way to point at something that exists in the sense that it means something to people. And if you define it, I can probably show you examples that match your definition, but doesn't mean anything in the way that it associates with political policies, actual political positions, and meaningful conversations we should be having about those political positions. It's just a distraction. That's all it is. If you come across someone who you think's annoying on Twitter, okay, that doesn't mean we need to stop all of the pushes for progress because you identify them as woke. With that being said, Fox News is now melting down over Legos because Legos have gone woke. Why? Because they got more diverse. They are just getting less and less dog whistly, more and more overt in what they're saying here.
Quick one. Say it ain't so. Now Lego, excuse me. Got me with both on. Lego is going woke. The company unveiling a range of new characters in the effort to be more inclusive. Lego says the new characters will promote diversity and understanding. Some will have anxiety issues. I don't know how you show that. One will have a missing limb, another Down syndrome. These are really important issues.
Yeah.
Do you want Lego in there?
Definitely not. But what's so fascinating about this story is the divide in the country. Republicans think it's insane that they're forcing identity politics into Legos. Democrats are upset that they didn't make a drag queen stripper. They're like, you call this a children's toy? What kind of set is this? No, it shouldn't be going on the way it's going on. But the reason they force identity into toys is because they think identity comes with a built-in political orientation. And that's what they're after here. I'm not having it.
Wow. I just want to build I have a Lego set that builds the White House.
Yeah, no.
I mean, important stuff, guys, being discussed on the most watched cable news shows, or the most watched network, I should say. So the anxiety thing, so there's a missing limb, I heard, anxiety, and then just diverse in multiple different ways. I went and read into it. It looks like Lego also has streaming service, shows that they have on streaming platforms. And that's my assumption where the change as far as anxiety comes in. Cause I don't know how you show that on a Lego character. You, I guess, could with a facial expression. I don't know, but probably on their shows, there's going to be some sort of highlighting of that. And then when they showed the pictures of the characters, just like, okay, cool. Like if that story came across while I'm preparing for the show, so quickly my finger would, what am I doing? What is this? What am I swiping on a dating app? Not that story today. Strange. I would not talk about it and wouldn't even think about it. I would scroll past it if I was reading on a news outlet. And it wouldn't even cross my mind to care in the slightest. I would be like, okay, it makes sense that because we live in a world with multiple different identity groups and a diverse batch of life experiences and capabilities, physical and mental, and ethnicities and sexual orientations and all these different things, that would be represented in representations of fake people, right? If we're showing you this fake Lego character, it makes sense that there would be different types of fake Lego characters to represent people. It's just so mind-boggling that they care and that that's defined as woke because God forbid there's something other than the bland yellow typical characters. Aren't they often yellow? They are.
Yes, they are.
The little yellow dudes. Legos are really fun, I gotta be honest. But back in my good old days, back when I was a kid.
Except when you step on them. God, they hurt.
That's true. That's very true. Well, continuing with the conversation about woke and Fox News, you might remember we went over this, but another example of the deep, deep unseriousness of this network when it came to Xbox.
So Xbox has also announced they're going woke too, and because of climate change, that they're adding a new feature to their default settings. So if you own an Xbox, you can upload this new program, and it will turn off after so long to save the environment, the power. And also they're saying the energy saving shutdown feature is going to have a slower boot time. Ted Cruz writes on Twitter, first gas stoves, then your coffee, now you're gunning for my Xbox.
Isn't it crazy though? Like when we were kids, you were a rebel if you had like a leather jacket and a pack of cigarettes. Now you have like a full powered Xbox and you're eating pizza rolls on a gas stove. I mean, it's crazy what they're doing, but we understand what this is. It's not that it's actually going to offset emissions. Okay, the level of reduction is infinitesimal, but they're trying to recruit your kids into climate politics at an earlier age. Make them climate conscious now.
Gotcha. So it's not to save power that would needlessly be getting spent when you're not using the console, but it's running anyways, and thus be saving you energy and in turn money. Not that much, obviously. It's, as he said, a small amount, but doesn't hurt. That's not actually what's happening. It's actually them getting your kids into climate politics. It's going for your kids. That's the truth of the matter. This is so dumb. And Governor of Illinois called out Ron DeSantis about this type of thing, this woke fear-mongering that we're constantly hearing. And so I want to add that into this conversation, and then we'll continue discussing.
The truth is that we actually have a much better education system in Illinois than they have in Florida. We're ranked higher than they are. U.S. News and World Report ranks K-12 education in Illinois 6th in the country and number 1 among the largest states in the country. So he's got nothing to brag about when it comes to education. So he moves on and tries to use this word woke to describe everything. He doesn't even know what the word means, and he has no definition of it. It's just anything he doesn't like is wokeism. And all I can tell you is that I don't know what that means, and frankly, what I can say about Illinois is that we're a state that cares about equity. We're a state that cares about our families. We're making the investments that are required so that our youngest children will do better and better. And I'm really excited about the direction of our state, as opposed to a state where they don't make the investments that are necessary to lift up their education system or their healthcare system.
Indeed. And when you look at rankings of education systems, K through 12, Illinois is ranked much higher than Florida. And I know what you're thinking if you're a conservative. That's because they're probably ranking it based on how woke it is, because it's a woke organization ranking it. U.S. News and World Report. That's a woke bastion. Well, and it's written sideways, so apologies. It's based on college readiness, high school graduation rate, NAEP math scores, NAEP reading scores, and preschool enrollment. Math and reading, college readiness, high school graduation rate, preschool enrollment. Seems pretty reasonable to me. And that shows us that Illinois' education system is better than Florida's, even though every day Warrior DeSantis is fighting against the woke in schools. Doesn't seem to be improving the actual education reality for K through 12 students. And so that brings us to why I want to focus on this. And we'll continue to have this discussion every time woke is brought up. Anytime you see something that's obviously, or you come to realize that it is a distraction, the clear and present question then is, what is being distracted from, right? And so in the case of woke, in the case of our current political reality, the reason why individuals like DeSantis, Fox News, dedicate so much time to a made-up concept that really has no clear attachment to our political reality today is to get people bought into right-wing politics in a way that omits your actual policy positions that you'll actually be fighting for if they give you power. So you essentially trick people into giving you power to do things that otherwise they wouldn't support. Meaning, If the National Republican Party ran on a platform of vote Trump in to office because he will cut taxes disproportionately for the wealthy. Through that process, jack up the deficit, but again, it's not a deficit increase going towards disproportionately programs that help the average working American. Instead, it's helping the wealthy get even more wealthy. And not much else will happen from a policy perspective, but he might try to overthrow our democratic process. Vote 2024. That's not going to be an effective message, right? But the woke monster's coming for you, and your kids are going to be propagandized into believing that we should care about our planet. That's strange. And that's why you have to put right-wing politicians into power, is unfortunately more of an effective message for certain populations of people. And so as long as conservatives, and I mean voters, are focusing on woke, are focusing on DeSantis fighting woke, they're not focusing on all of the ways that DeSantis isn't helping their actual reality, their actual well-being, improving their real life well-being. And it's wild to see people, and when I have discussions in my personal life, I'll get blown away by this, who their entire political identity is wrapped around people and ideas that will probably never affect them at all, in the slightest, even a slight bit, not even one single bit. It's about the kids getting propagandized. Are your kids getting propagandized? No, but they're going to. They're going to teach them to be woke. It's about trans people, and something about trans people is going to damage their life somehow. And then I'll ask specifically, how will that trans person hurt you in any way? And there's not a reason there. Okay, so that definitely can't be a motivator. And you go down the line. But again, I say, this allows them to have some answer other than, I don't really know, Biden, his policies are just better. Because Biden, meanwhile, and so many flaws with Biden, but to his credit, during the State of the Union, laid out all these different things that the Biden administration have pushed for that have been good for the lives of Americans, and proposals he wants to fight for in the future. Republicans don't want any of those things. So how do you sell an agenda that is actively going to keep good things from happening for your constituents? You make a fake agenda. That's how. And that's what they've been doing. And it's pretty stunning to observe. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with a little bit more on today's show. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.